Hello everyone, how is it going? It's your boy Izlogic.business welcoming you to the Anarchy analysis series once again. We're live for NRG versus Weibo, and tonight I'm still by myself as always, but we're going to be chilling our way through as a whole because I have content still to make as well after this, so it's gonna be a full night of content. I opened up just a few moments ago the Paradox Rift I Am Valiant box, which you'll have to wait and see to find out my verdict on it as a whole. But yeah, today NRG versus Weibo, a big series that we are going to be breaking down today. Starting with game number 1. Now, game number 1 we're doing on GOL because we're focusing on 2 and 3 to round out the stream. We're going to go back to back with them because game 1 was it was a long one. 39 minutes. No soul, as it was dragged out to both teams picking up 3 Drakes. And, you know, pick and ban are kind of the interesting things that we saw throughout all of this. As NRG got their Senna TK bot lane that they've flexed throughout the tournament, and Weibo played it with Aphelios Milio, a bot lane that we saw quite a bit during this series, and you gotta give them credit, unkilled on the Weibo side of things. Light and Crisp performed exceptional for Weibo this entire best of 5, and so here it's surprising because NRG had the goal lead and did quite well with it until the 31-minute mark, where the Drakes and the Barons went over to Weibo, and that decided the game. Just a massive shift in gold here, and we're gonna look at that fight, to be honest, today. We might as well start with a team fight from this best of 5 and the first game. Now, I'm unprepared on here for the games, so if there's any noise, I apologize. Quality is premium, baby. Let's get to the start of the games. Honestly, I liked this little thing that the casters did, just because it was kind of cool, you know, having Azale stood here with Kobe and Flowers. I didn't realize they did all this. They just said that. I didn't realize he was the curse. Like this. So he stepped off and then in comes Dagda. I didn't realize the full extent of it because I was as dead to the world when I started watching the stream and just woke up. But yeah, 31 minutes into the game would be where we're looking at. So from here onwards, and at this stage of the game, we'll look at it from 29 minutes. It's fairly even. NRG are ahead 2k, but like the kill score's even, the Drakes are even. It's a unkilled bot lane ADCs on either side. There's got to be a force here from Weibo onto NRG. Or NRG try to force something that I think Western teams tend to do a lot that's kind of stupid, is overcommit and force when they don't need to. But here, I think Weibo take calculated risks. The fact that they've just got to this Baron undetected, NRG should be aware, and they've spot the Baron being started with the blue trinket. It's not dropping quick though, and so Weibo are in a bit of an issue where they're forcing this objective, forcing NRG to respond. It's a little unfortunate that it doesn't make much sense to crash down. It catches one. It's contract, so they're gonna kill the jungler, or it's this Renekton. It's weird here from NRG because they're splitting everyone into isolated 1v1s, but Weibo are staying grouped up and trying to fight. They do good here, NRG, to kill the Shy, but Weibo's still in the area and they're forcing NRG to respond. Contracts is pretty much dead, but here Milio ult comes through and Light's just able to free fire. It's a 2-for-1 trade in the long run of all this fighting. But Palafox is isolated. This is an issue in that I started to notice at the start of this play. NRG play very like 1-up-ish in terms of fighting here. And it's kind of forcing them into awkward fights. And here, they're trying to do it again, where they split, and the Shy just catches FBI. Baron secured by Weibo. So the big threat of NRG's been killed. Baron secured. The kill also went over to Light. This is a bad situation for NRG, because that's just given stack 2k that Weibo needed to close the goal gap. They've now got Baron, so they'll take the lead off this play. This is just, I'd say, poorly executed by NRG. You got 2 picks, but you don't gain vision control of the Baron pit. You give that up. You don't reclaim it, considering you're up 4 members to 3. It's just a misplay and a half from NRG. Something you really shouldn't have done. From this position, it's honestly quite hard for NRG to play from. Like, you're going to be constantly pushed in. Sure, you have better scaling, but at this point, scaling isn't as much as a factor, because we're getting to the late game stages where ADC/supports have a lot of gold already, so they've hit their power spikes, and it's just extra damage. They're not making their power spike even bigger. They've already hit that as, yeah, Light just melts through towers now. And I've already done some research into this series, and I want to see if this is the game where it happens for FBI. Yeah. So this is a weird build. The reason I say it's weird is because Ignar is still technically support. He will always buy control wards and get the vision down for his team, because he is a frontliner. He's playing that initial get area control champion. The reason it's surprising in terms of FBI's build, look at Light. He is playing a traditional ADC. Sure, Senna is a more supportive in terms of build champion. She's not the same sort of ADC as an Aphelios. But look, you've got how many control wards? 1, 2, 3. 3 in his inventory the entire game. FBI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He bought 13 control wards. Now, I don't know quick math, but okay Google. What is
from Pixel 6 Pro?
What is 13 times?
Sorry, what are you asking?
I forgot my phone. Alexa, disconnect from phone. Okay, Google. What is 13 times 75?
13 by 75 is 975.
So quite a bit of gold. That's over one pickaxe. So he could beam up one component very easily. But he chose to build and get vision control for the team, which you would say is kind of impactful, considering that one pickaxe could have got him pretty much a lot closer to the LDR, and versus the 1, 2, 4 item Aphelios versus 1, 2 item Senna. It would have put it to 3 to 4 item, so they'd be very similar in terms of strength, and that's kind of something you have to query is, was this a misbuild? Did FBI misplay his builds this game? I would say yes, personally. Then again, look how many wards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. There's a lot of wards being picked up by NRG. Like, even Dokla. I think this is comparative. Shy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wei has a lot of wards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think NRG, and this is an issue I think for this game, over-indexed in vision wards. Like, slightly too many. That's just a personal thought. I think that the fact that they're spending so much money on wards costs them a bit, and it means that they're on the back foot quite heavily in terms of gold and eco. Like, sure, you had a 2k gold lead, but the reason they lost that Baron was poor vision control. Do you not understand the irony behind the point I'm raising here? Poor vision control with mass amounts of wards being bought. Something does not add up there. And you kind of have to question how NRG came into this series. So, game 2. We get to see, hopefully, something different from NRG. And after this game, I'm gonna count the control wards bought by FBI here as we get into draft for our second game here on Worlds. knockout stages. And wow, they've got November written on the thing. That's cool, adding the Grind the Glory onto it. But yeah, we're already halfway through the ban phase. Renata, Rumble, Azir removed from Weibo as Maokai, Jarvan, and Xayah removed from NRG. I like these bans. That's pretty much all the OPs gone. So these two teams will be going at each other with comps that are fairly more lower down in the pecking order. Ori kind of stays prevalent. Vi comes through, Cassante comes through. It's Aphelios, it's Rel. We're seeing a lot of quick picks here, as typically all these picks seem like the salty run back from game 1. And you can't really blame NRG. It was a mistake with the vision that gave Weibo the fight back into it. And here, NRG thinking they can beat them by taking the Cassante away this time from the Shy. Not allow that pick through. Renekton is open, obviously. That probably will get removed here by NRG in the second phase. Nico came through for Xiaohu. Yet again, the Senna is gone this time. FBI not going to get his favorite pick of all. That kind of puts NRG in a bit of an issue, because the available ADCs haven't really popped off as hard. You've got Sivir, you've got Ezreal. They're kind of bait overall, and you haven't... Zeri is probably the best one left open with a high win rate. That's kind of unfortunate here. As Ziggs can be removed once again. This is sort of the NRG fun bag of picks being taken away from FBI. I would honestly have loved the Ziggs come through, because you get some form of push into the Aphelios. Now, don't get me wrong, you'd be heavily indexing into AP damage, and that's not something you typically want to do. But you would probably get an AD champion top lane anyway, like a Jax, Renekton. Actually, no, you wouldn't. Cassante's locked in. That Ziggs ban makes less sense to me now. In terms of usage, it wouldn't be that big. Anyway, ban phase is done. Aatrox is through for the Shy. It's his staple bread and butter pick here, isn't it? He's got his comfortable carry as Kaiser. Actually left open, gets picked up here for FBI. Alongside it is the Alistar. That's a heavy engaging bot lane. And in fact, the entire NRG team is fairly heavy in terms of engage. I'm surprised Rakan wasn't picked up here for Ignar, because you could actually do somewhat better than Alistar with it. I think you probably... Actually, no, Alistar makes a bit of sense, because it hard counters Rel. It counters Nico to some extent, because you can headbutt her away as she tries to pop blossom you. I think Alistar actually makes more sense than Rakan, so forget everything I'm saying, as that pick slightly better. NRG's draft. They flexed the Rel jungle, Milio back in. They found success with this in game number 1. Why not run it back? Now, as a whole, the draft has been fairly dog standard this series. We're seeing kind of a salty run back, and the only difference really is the Aatrox for the Shy, and a Cassante for Dokes, Big Dokla in the top lane. But yeah, game 2 should be pretty interesting. NRG throwing the gauntlet back down. They say you got lucky game 1. We're going to beat you here in game number 2. As that Summoners Cup, the prize these two teams are fighting for. And what a big surprise it will be for one of them if they are able to make the distance and go all the way to the final. But obviously only one of these teams can advance to the semis. Will it be Weibo, who are up 1-0? Will it be NRG bouncing back quick and fast in game number 2? You already know the answer. Why am I even explaining it like that? But who cares? On to the Rift for game number 2. NRG on blue side, red side for Weibo. The Summoners Cup is beamed up to the skies as Weibo and NRG form a fan out. Nothing extraordinary happening. The possibility of a invade early from Weibo being threatened onto the Alistar. And taking a quick check-in on items. Slightly surprised Light has gone for Dora's Blade instead of Cull. It's also Longsword start for Kaiser. Leads me to believe she's trying to get that, whatever it's called. The Electrovized Blade, or the blade that gives you a charge. I forget what it's called. Anyway, the early ward for Weiwei comes through. As Contract's not going to be aware of the Raptor camp still. As Weiwei, the Rel, wrapping down onto the camp. Hasn't got Smite. Contracts isn't aware. And as such, this trade's coming through quite hard. Weiwei, the Rel, just looking for a trade. Contracts forced to flash, and he's going to be punished quite heavily here. As nearly all of his bottom half jungle gonna be stolen away by this Rel, who, realistically speaking, has a free access into this bot lane for a gank. The way Weibo playing this lane, that's trying to stack the minions up, trying to build a big wave of minions to crash into that tower. And once Rel clears his red buff, you honestly need to be wary. And Contracts, he's forced to go to the top side if he wants to stay relevant. He's only level 1. And Weiwei just playing this excellently. The early game is going to be extremely hard for NRG's jungler here. Going to be behind a full camp or two as Weiwei pulls the wave. Oh, NRG. The massive minion wave's going to crash. The Rel misses the Q. That's actually just saved NRG's bot lane. And Contract, he's stealing away the red buff. This is a bit of a misplay from Weibo. Something you don't typically see too often. As the jungler misses his gank opportunity. And he's falling behind slightly. Now, Contracts obviously is still behind, don't get me wrong, but he is going to be able to pick up these Krugs, and the Shy actually playing way too far forward. His ward he dropped down won't reveal Contract's position, who sweeped out this brush. He knows he can go for a play here. And that's going to be Dokla getting aggressive. The Shy jumped on, forced to flash the Q from the Vi. And now both sides missing a flash. Obviously not the biggest of investments from the Vi in terms of losing that one. She can technically use the Q to do distance maneuvers, but hey, still a summoner to say the least that is down on NRG's side of the Rift. As for the Shy, you kind of do need that flash more so than anything. I think that's a big punish from NRG, and honestly pretty poor from the Shy to not respect the only place on the Rift that Contracts could be is that top side. So the fact he didn't respect it is pretty bad. As another missed Q from Weiwei. This time he's getting punished quite heavily as the Ignite takes away his health bar. NRG's bot lane staying alive as two failed gank attempts come through from Weiwei, and so that's gonna put a damper the possible plays being set up by Weibo, who, let's be honest, I think Weibo scales a lot better than NRG, regardless of the fact that they're trying to make early plays. I think the burst potential out from the Nico kind of excels more than Diori as 1 second. Peeps, I need to... That was weird, to say the least. Yeah, the fire alarm went off. False alarm, though. Regardless, we're gonna go back into this series. It's gonna be, hopefully, a little better, as I've now got a little doggy in my room. I'll just switch over. Yeah, little bugger licking the plate in my food. No. Hello. Yeah, that's a microphone. That's what you talking to. Hey. Yeah. You gonna sit on my lap for this? There you go. So there. We've now got her. She's gonna be the NRG cheerleader for this one. But yeah. As it stands, oh, you're a pain. She's just trying to climb away. Yeah, little puppy. But as it stands, NRG are kind of getting very lucky in the bot side. Weiwei missing 2 ganks is a huge issue. As he's actually going to try again. No vision down here for NRG, and they've overstepped. That's the route. That's the crash down. That's first blood. It's unfortunate it goes over to Crisp, but hey, it's still a kill for Weibo, who essentially punished a mistake as Contracts gets Crisp Flash. That is actually a good responsive play from NRG, unaware where Weibo doesn't result in a kill, but it is still a huge thing. And I kind of want to point this out as well. NRG have a lot of abilities to root and or stun or knock up Weibo carries. So it's kind of interesting to see Light running Ghost, because he's essentially saying he's got full trust in Crisp's ability on this Milio to use the ult, effectively deny the CC chains, and just outplay NRG. If you have that much faith in your support that you don't need cleanse, that's huge, because it allows for the Milio W and you with these extra abilities to run a target down effectively and just absolutely delete them off the Rift. Now, with the fact that Weibo has been playing heavily through the bot side of the map, we are going to see them secure the first Drake of the game for themselves. Obviously, Cloud Drake #1 picked up, and that is okay, I guess. But bot side, that's Hunting Rel. I think he stayed down here the majority of the game. It's probably about 80% of his time has been in this bot lane, just covering, protecting Light and Crisp. And this is how Weibo like to play. It's get the carry ahead. It's a very clear-cut style. After game 1, the fact that FBI popped off quite well on that center, as well as the TK being very formidable, Weiwei is investing his time into the spot side to allow them to scale up, because they know that as the game got later in the first one, they were able to get ahead, destroy the opponent, even though a center outscales. It's kind of surprising that it happened. But regardless of that, finally we see them pathing over to this top side of the Rift. All 5 members in the mid and top lane. As the Rift Herald started up, it looks like we're going to get a contest for this, but that's green-white guns for Light, Aphelios. The white gun kind of dissuades NRG for going in for this objective. And the first 2 big prizes go over to the Weibo side of the Rift. Come on, how you go then? You want to go? Go. Go. She's a little bugger. It was nice to have her in here for a bit, but hey, she wants to go roam the house and terrorize everyone, as you do. But let's get back into the context of this game, how it is shaping up. Bot side, there's a huge CS difference. Top side, there's a huge CS difference. The only place where CSDs are fairly even is mid lane, and we haven't had chance to discuss this Nico Ori matchup because it's been very quiet. All of the action has kind of been on this bottom half of the map, as Weiwei, he's just camped it, and Contracts is starting to realize that he needs to protect his bot lane a bit better, as Weiwei has made 2 continuous ganks into the bot lane under their tower. He's made a gank when they started to push. Contracts needs to shadow this lane a little bit more so that Weiwei can't go for these sorts of plays. And that is kind of important to know, because the fact Weiwei is investing a lot of time down here, it should be noted, and NRG should kind of respond to it. I think this is a huge thing Contracts needs to do, is provide safety for his bot lane, because it's not the same thing as a Senna TK. Kaiser, Alistar don't have the same sort of power in terms of scaling, in terms of all-round damage. It's not the same. You need to get some semblance of early control for that bot lane to kind of be able to match up to the Aphelios later, because this Weibo bot lane will outscale and will heavily punish NRG. Now, the big thing here is NRG is setting up a 4-man dive. All 4 members are down here. But Weiwei, he's still in this bot side. That's going to be the cease and desist into Shockwave combination. Down goes Light, but the Pot Blossom flank from Xiaohu finds its mark as Ignar falls. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade as the Shy turns up to the fight. He's got onto the backside. Xiaohu falls, but so does Palafox. The mid laners are down. FBI and Contracts die to the tower as the Shy gets kills. Big fight for Weibo as NRG crumble in this bot lane once more. The big solace point though for NRG is the fact that Dokla stayed top. He's getting turret plates, but the Shy, he got the kills. He's getting plates, and NRG are behind a better scaling comp. What will the NA first seed do here to fight back? They need to make plays, and unfortunately the plays that they just made haven't worked out as finally a TP comes through. This is Dokla joining up with the team. Can he find the same impact as the Shy? No, he cannot. NRG waste their TP. Unless they get Drake here, it's kind of a wasteful play. But look at the map state. Light, he can't really contest this Drake. None of Weibo can. So he's immediately path to top side, isolate himself away from all of NRG, and he's going to secure a push. As this tower dive really was okay. They got Light, but the fact is, they over committed. All 5 went under the tower, but the TPs come through, and Weibo realized they need to pull the Shy down here, and he's just able to clean house. FBI and Contracts don't respect the tower, so they fall and give over a couple of kills more to Weibo. Topside, yeah, do you remember how I said Light went to isolate himself? Well, big boy Light got paid off this tower. Look at the amount of gold. If we just quickly pan back, he is sat on. He's ahead 600 gold over his lane opponent. And that's coming off them turret plates. Look at the shot. He's up at 1k. They're coming off bottom plates as well as that big team fight win. NRG behind across the board. It's also a 1k gold lead in the support role. The Milio's got 2 kills. Crisp. He's clean. He's just walking all over the opposition. Weibo have played this game exceptionally well from minute 1. I have to give credit to Weiwei here for shadowing Light and Crisp. It's allowed NRG, well, it's kind of put NRG in an awkward situation where they have to play a certain way. In the sense that you need to have some either A, forced play onto the bot side of the map to basically shut down Light. They forced it, got the kill, but Weibo understood the situation a lot better, and so they respond in kind by bringing more members. It's as simple as that. Dokla, I'm not blaming him for staying on this top side map and getting towers. Or plates, as I should put it. But I'm blaming the fact that he had a TP advantage over Weibo and didn't really utilize it effectively. He could have honestly have stayed in sides, split push continuous, and just farmed ahead and got more plating and actually have been a menace on the side lane, more so than the Shy, because Cassante ahead is nigh on impossible to play into. Aatrox ahead it's a bit of a nightmare once he reaches late game, but early game, like this stage of game, it would have been quite fine for him to be playing, but the Shy doing the Shy things. That lane economy snapshot by MasterCard just really signifies how far ahead this Aatrox has gotten. this early on. And with the fact he's going Gore Drinker into presumably Sterax, yeah, he's got it now. He's up a full item, by the way. Cassante hasn't even got his Bramble Vest. And that's a 200 gold item. Yeah. We're in there. I think, honestly, Weibo could look to force the fight right now. As surprising as that may sound. As Xiaohu gonna come topside. He's a bit suspicious of NRG being up here, but because of the fact that he didn't see the Krugs being taken, he's kind of feeling a bit safer. But now Weibo, they turn up in bulk to protect their mid laner. And so NRG can't get this Herald down just yet. It's almost timing out, to be honest. It kind of feels like they're going to be forced to drop it down soon. Because they didn't get any plates with it. I'm pretty sure this is the first Herald as well, by the way. No, it's actually the second, sorry. I'm dumb. Where was first Herald used? I don't remember first Herald. Oh well. NRG secure first Tower Blood for themselves. And that is kind of good for them. It brings them some gold back. That's technically unobtainable gold for Weibo. That being the first blood gold. But it's still a decent cash injection into NRG. They are playing from behind with this Mountain Drake spawning. That's going to put them into a situation where they want to contest for the soul. Reason is, you look at the comps, NRG quite squishy, to be honest, comparative to Weibo, as that's in the mid lane going to be the start of a fight. Ignar taken incredibly low as the Prey Seekers, Void Seekers I should say, coming out from the Kaiser, doing decent chunks back. But there is Xiaohu investing a TP to join up with this Shy. This Drake's going to be started up here for Weibo, and just look where Contracts is on the map. He's not in any position to contest this, as NRG just want to get push onto the map. Gonna force 3 waves to crash in to the enemy base, you have to feel. As once more a wave goes into bot side, top side. It's getting close to tier 2, not gonna fully crash in. And then mid lane, the push sits in favor of NRG. Though Light is just letting the wave die. He's fine. He's content with the minions going over to the Alistar. He isn't really that much of a threat right now. But with FBI here, kind of has to force a form of engage onto the minions, as Light playing very, very respectful of NRG, who are lying in wait for him. They want to catch him as he oversteps. But he isn't going to give them that opportunity, as back to the bot side. The Shy Dokla trading like any good typical top and top laners would do. And it's actually impressive to see the Shy's build here, because typically you wouldn't expect a Frozen Heart. He's rocking it. Actually, wait, I just realized I'm reading the wrong character. But typically, I don't even know where I'm going with the build, by the way. It's a weird conversation point. But yeah, it's a weird sort of situation. As Gale Force for Light, I think that's pretty impactful for him. Gets him to a situation where he's able to just throw down and reposition quite nicely. Obviously, Aphelios, known for being quite a low mobility pick, as Weibo and NRG They know that there's an objective called the Big Purple Worm spawned. So they're starting to position up to this top half of the map. 2 minutes 50 seconds until Drake number 4 on the map. The Mountain Soul. Clearly a prize that is worthwhile for these two teams. The innate shield and the resistances Mountain Soul gives to either side is kind of the big deal here that they really both want, as we've got a possibility of a fight brewing. I'm looking at the top laners, both starting to roam up here. The Shy halfway up the river, gonna get back to the mid bot lane first, as that's the Moonlight Visual forcing the flash out of FBI, but Ignar, he's caught out. The Magnet Storm pulls him back, but he's able to blast cone away to safety, and NRG lose nothing for quite a heavy investment of ultimates from Weibo. The Magnet Storm, the Moonlight Vigil, all now on a big cooldown, so Weibo, they kind of feel the pressure. They kind of feel forced to try and make a play on this Baron. Bring NRG to them. Try and get big picks. But it's not going to happen, as Weibo give up on that objective and NRG reclaim the territory as their own. Now, just quickly looking at these items. 2 items on both ADCs right now. This is probably the best place in the game for NRG to sort of fight. The fact that the carries are even of sorts, you do feel that the top side matchup is a bit of an issue, as the Shy just demolishing Dokla in this one. But yeah, we are probably going to see a big fight very, very soon. 50 seconds until Mountain Drake number 2 spawns. That'll take it, possibly Weibo to Soul Point if they secure it. But NRG, all throughout this series so far, evenly trading them Drakes between one another. As I shake my screen, because I'm trying to get comfortable. Because I am not comfortable right now and I want to just lay back. But if I lay back, I'll go to sleep. It's such an awful situation, as I'm just looking at Zaru's items. He's got TP. He's got the Zhonya's and the Rocket Belt. You could quite honestly look for a massive Pop Blossom in TP format. That would be pretty insane if you were able to get that. But NRG, the first to start this objective, they're onto the Baron. They've got Dokla and Ignar ready on site, but the crash down, the Magnet Storm into the Pop Blossom will not get onto Palafox. He's able to walk away, but FBI gets deleted. He Killer Instinct too far, and Light, he's popping off. The Shy finds one. This is Weibo's fight as they corral NRG into them. Dokla being jumped on, forced to run away. NRG lose 3, and Weibo, they see this big purple worm and they say thank you very much to the LCS first seed. But this is not over yet. TP invested. Palafox joins up. He has not got Shockwave, but he has a decent chunk of damage. The all-out actually kills the jungler off. Weiwei is down. That should dissuade Weibo's Baron take. But Dokla, he's having to fight the Shy, and he is somehow winning out. NRG do wonders as the two solo laners dissuade Weibo's Baron, push them off the objective. And NRG, this isn't over yet. They go on to the objective. They're starting to secure this one for themselves. Weibo forced to return. Look how low Crisp is. Light though, he's still healthy. Shirelia's is used. NRG gotta get Pop Blossom 4-man ulti, but the Shockwave, it finds Crisp. He's taken low, but Light, he's got aggressive. He's got the 2 big carries of NRG down. He's killing them off. Everyone on NRG is falling once more as Light and the Shy find the fight. What a big one there by Weibo. We need to watch this. This is from way far back. Zarel catches the Kaiser. And that's like, well, we're kind of forced to fight it. And FBI goes way too far. The Shy immediately turns onto him with the Aphelios. It's just clean team fight from Weibo, choosing the correct targets and just focusing them down. It's a good work by the LPL team, is they just use their tools so goddamn well. And then this is the re-engage fight. The Shy comes back. Sure, Baron secured by NRG, but this 4-man Pot Blossom finds the fight for Weibo. It was a good shockwave in return, but it wasn't enough. And Light and the Shy, once they're here, Milio able to just stick around. He wasn't focused at all, and he's just able to peel for his ADC. Absolute insanity there. And honestly, you kind of have to question NRG there. Should they have turned onto them? As actually, it's going to be a massive catch out as Rel forced to jump away. Both junglers incredibly low, but the Shy, he's got a big health bar and he's looking to chase down NRG. Forced to run to the top side of the rift, but the Graviton, it finds FBI. He's forced to run as well. NRG getting pulled into the side, getting pushed everywhere on the rift. And the Pot Blossom, Dokla, gonna be caught, stunned under his tower, jumped on and killed. Light is unstoppable, and NRG on the back foot still. They're gonna have to deal with this Baron wave. Actually, they're the ones with the Baron. Who's got Baron on their side? It's the Vi. Contract's got the objective still as Weiwei. He just keeps going aggressive. The Moonlight Vigil won't kill off anyone. That was a massive ulti there from Light, dealing massive chunks as he's stepping forward. Oh, Palafox deleted off the rift with that one. That was pretty much a solo bolo for Light. The Aphelios is just popping off. This game is well and truly over. You may have got Baron there, but it hasn't done you anything good, as Weibo are just destroying your base. It's crumbling in front of you, and the purpleness, it does nothing. As Weibo may be in a bit of an issue as Light and Weiwei gonna catch out Contracts. That looked dire for the LPL's 4th seed, as Light showed it was a kind of a bait, but they get out. They're on soul point as well. I don't even remember when they got that, but the Shy caught on sides. The killer instinct from FBI trying to get the shutdown. They are able to, as Weiwei, he sees Ignat and stuns him up. Xiaohu on the side, he's caught FBI. That's the ADC down from NRG. Now they're relying heavily on Palafox. He needs to step up for the team. He needs to get something. Weibo, they're content. Trade the Shy for FBI. That's a huge, big pick. And I think, sure, you gave over a shutdown, a 5-1-4 Aatrox, but you got the main wave clear. And that's going to make this exceptionally hard for NRG to play, as this is just a bit of a greedy back from the Shy in vision, and he gets jumped on. FBI does well. The killer instinct puts him in a bit of a difficult situation, and that allows Xiaohu to go for this play. It's just a great usage of the Cozy Campfire into the Pot Blossom to get the chase down. And that is something you have to respect, is the Milio's ability to provide you extremely high amounts of chase down in terms of power, the speed that it gives. And NRG just didn't respect it, and FBI dies because of it. Simple as that. So, with that said, what's the fight back here for NRG? You're down literally 6k gold. You're facing off against a team with Soul Point that probably will in 20 seconds secure Soul. They've got so much resistance with the Mountain Drakes in their back pocket. You've got a Rel who's just constantly stepping forward into your face as a Shy. Actually going to be caught out again, but he sees contracts and he wants to kill the jungler before this objective falls. The killer instinct puts FBI once again in a bad place as the Pot Blossom only is going to land onto the Alistar, but the Shy, he's going to fall. He overchased, but Ignar, what are you doing? You get caught out once again. NRG have no engage options now. Contract's the only character that can go into the pit, but he's backed away. He's on his red buff. He does not care about Soul. NRG give up Mountain Soul, and this should, you have to feel, is them giving up Baron. They can't really contest this. Contracts is on this side of the map, so maybe they go for a contest. Maybe they try to steal it, but I don't think you've got a chance. Weibo controlling the area. They've got the scuttle. There's no vision for NRG onto this Baron. It's being taken incredibly low. It is down. Baron secured. Contracts forced to run, but that's going to be engaged from Dokla. He's getting onto Weiwei, but he's isolating himself as a 3-man shockwave doesn't do enough damage. NRG, they do nothing as the Shy, he's chasing Contracts down. The Sterax provides so much shields, but look at this healing from the Aatrox. He's doing the work, but he's going to be shut down. The Pot Blossom finds FBI once more. The kills coming through for Weibo as the Shy, he just distracts NRG. He puts them in a situation where they cannot fight. And that is a big team fight win, if you can call it a team fight for Weibo, as they get the push with the Baron. The flash forward, they catch out the Ori, chunking her low. The shield keeps her alive, and that's still Light getting legendary. The Vi is down. The base of NRG is going down. The Nexus, the last thing left for Weibo to secure, as Light is killing. He is popping off. Xiaohu gets shut down, but NRG, their base is in tatters. The Magnet Storm just dissuades anything, and NRG are out of game 2 as Weibo advance to match point. Simple as that. That game, it was a bot diff. Well, it felt like a bot diff, but it came from the jungle. The fact that Weiwei stayed down there for the majority of the game allowed Light to reach his power points safely, securely, and with a lot of gold in a quick fashion. You don't tend to see that too much in solo queue. Is a jungler committed to the bot lane. Or I don't. I tend to see the enemy jungler committed to the bot lane. But yeah, overall, a massive game out of NRG, and you have to give credit to Light. He was the one that popped off, and it felt very much like him and Crisp carried that game. The Milio did work. We don't give supports enough credit, as that was just a very well played game by Weibo as we head into our third and final matchup in the series. NRG still on blue, Weibo on red. Xayah Nico actually going to be banned out by Weibo. They clearly don't want to allow that as a first pick option. Azir picked into the ban phase is actually going to be banned, and Aphelios banned by NRG. Light's too good at the champ, man. Will Weibo ban the Ori? Yes, they will. So now we're going to see something completely different out of these two teams. Senna is up and available. Do NRG feel comfortable first picking it? They do not. Rumble is secured. This does leave Jarvan open for Weibo. Rakan also is up and available. A champion very good at pairing with this Rumble. I think we could honestly see Rakan Jarvan first rotation. But I forgot Maokai left up and available, obviously, because that was banned out by Weibo. And they're picking the Caitlyn. We're getting a siege bot lane for NRG, for Weibo, sorry, who have drafted quite well. I'm going to be honest, I like Caitlyn as a whole, as a pick. The fact that you're going to be constantly having pressure in the bot lane, if it ends up being light and crisp versus Dokla at any point in the game, you have to feel that they'll try and force the equalizer onto the minion wave, and they'll play on the front foot regardless. This is a very strong setup so far for Weibo. You can also use the Maokai, Nature's Grasp, to get a trap down very easily. I honestly think Weibo have a decent startup in their comp as a poke bot lane from NRG. Ezreal, who is absolutely dire, and Karma. Oh god, I can't really see that as a strong bot lane, but it's come through. The response, the Heimer dinger for Crisp. It's a Heimer dinger. We haven't seen that bad boy in a while. Paired alongside a Caitlyn is a bit of a weird one. You usually expect a Morga or Lux paired alongside Caitlyn, but it is in fact instead gonna be a Heimer. So they're looking for constant pressure in this bot lane. This is very, very aggressive, to say the least, because you can use the towers from level 1. They control the brushes. The Caitlyn gonna use them traps effectively to get headshots. And it's a very, very, what I would call strong 2v2 lane for Weibo. Comparative to NRG, you've got poke on either side, but the lane control just favours this Heimerdinger. Now, ban phase numero 2 has begun. Jarvan removed. I think we'll see Poppy removed. There you go. Xante. And what else will be taken out of the pool? Obviously, mid lane has still got a lot of options up and available. We probably will see Xiaohu get the counter pick here, all things considered. So, I probably will pick for the Shy in this game. Rumble. What would you want to play into the Rumble? Other than, say, Aatrox? Renekton? There's not very many good options into this Rumble because other than Anar, there's not many range champions that are bulky. And so you would, if you picked like Jax or Aatrox, you would have to be forced to play in range of the Rumble. But like Aatrox can Q from range, so it would have been an alright matchup. However, Nah, the safest option, the melee form, will out-trade this Rumble if he plays this well enough, and considering it's the Shy, there's a high chance he will play very well. Last rotation of picks for NRG sees Yone and Sejuani. Oh boy, let's throw in the gauntlet down here. The LCS first seed. They've got poke and harass in the bot lane. They've got long range burn damage from the Rumble. And then a Yone. He does things. He does things like damage people with high crit rate. The response for Xiaohu is Jace, I guess. I don't know how that matchup actually works. I think as the Yone tries to Q3 you hit him with your hammer. Like your knockback hammer. I think Jace into Yone is a bit weird in the sense that I'd assumed that Jace would win it, because you can match his positioning quite well in terms of the fact when he leaves his soul, you can shock blast where he goes back to pretty easily. You just line up with him. It's not a hard thing to do. Plus, it does make it very hard for you to go aggressive, because you can pop your E and get the static field around you, and so you just don't take damage to him, as he takes significant amounts of damage against you. I need energy. I'm already getting tired. You can already feel it in my cast. But yeah, Game 3 on the horizon. If Weibo win, they go to the semi-finals and make Casual very, very happy. Lose, and we got more games on our hand. We're onto the Rift, and it's already looking like a massive 5v5 bot side. This isn't pre-planned by either of them. It's just what happens when there's a Heimerdinger who just wants to get vision control. I also really like the Shy skin here. The red really pops, as NRG, well aware of where he is positioned, gonna get the clearance on these towers. And actually, this is huge, because Weibo wanted to secure early push with the towers in strong positions. They deny that here, do big NRG, and as such, they get a better wave state. Now, the issue is, actually there isn't an issue. Ignar and FBI are just staying there. So, I'm actually surprised how the start has happened. This is huge, because you, on the back foot, Heimerdinger finds it really hard to get good turrets down. Because this Ezreal Karma lane is weird, because they can quite easily destroy the towers with their Qs, but they're wasting mana to kill a Heimer tower. And the Heimer towers are kind of good, because as an ADC, if he puts a tower in range of the minions, chances are it may steal a minion. And that is a thing you don't really want to give up. As level 2s come through to the bot side of the map, that means that Crisp and Light have to give up pressure. Kind of a standard thing. Take a look at items, nothing out of the ordinary. Loads of Dorans. As tower can be just dropped. But the aggression out, Crisp is forced to flash. Ignited by Ignar. And now NRG get on the front foot in the bot side. Contracts, he's well aware of his winning lane. He gets to go for this blue buff steal. And Weiwei, he respects it. He backs away as that's actually twisted advance onto the Karma, who's gone too far forward. Jumped on and ignited. As Weibo secure first blood, and Heimerdinger, he does too much. These towers are effective. The plasma, the shock grenade, not gonna get the stun. As Xiaohu, very late on that static field. And we're gonna probably get a replay of first blood here. That was clean from Crisp. Simple as that. He came to his jungler as aid exceptionally well. And what's in this position? It's twisted advance into E from Heimer, into tower, into ignite. Boom, kill, secured. This almost looked like a double kill. In fact, it almost looked like a 2-for-1 trade for Weiwei dying. But he doesn't. And yeah, Ignar realizes the mistake. Weibo get first blood. Now, in previous games, I complained about Milio getting first blood. Here, Heimerdinger, I'm happy with him getting kills. He is a damage threat. If you look at Weibo's comp, he is, as well as technically the Maokai, AP. The only AP sources they've got. So, the fact that Heimerdinger has a kill, probably going to build Rylai's first into Liandry's second. You kind of see the mass amounts of damage he can do, and it's one of the big reasons I love playing him. Is A, you get a lot of control on the Rift, as you put towers down, as Twisted Advance going to force the aggression. Contracts, he dashed forward, and that's going to cost him his life, as another kill secured for Weibo. 2-0. Unfortunate that Xiaohu didn't get the kill, but like, it's a massive blunder from the NRG jungler. And now, back foot, down CS. Literally, this is a situation no jungler wants to be in, because his camps are going to be limited. With the Drake started up by Weibo and the secure going to come through, this game gets harder and harder for NRG. Down about 1k gold, 1.5. They're now having to think of how to attack Weibo in the early game. Because, like it or not, you can't think about the next game. Because there is no next game if you lose. You need to think of how to rectify the ship. And you're looking at contracts here. You're looking at this bot lane. You want to punish both these champions. Because, to be honest, of the available ADCs in the meta, Caitlyn and Aphelios are kind of lowest mobility. If you can get on top of this Caitlyn or this Heimer, chances are you will get the picks. But Weibo, they're trying to force the action already. They baited NRG forward, and that's going to try and just cause absolute havoc with NRG. Because let's be honest, NRG are actually doing okay in this bot lane. Sure, you gave over first blood to a Heimerdinger, but FBI's up CS. He's doing okay. He's obviously going to be stacking up that tier with the Sheen, as well as topside, Deshai going aggressive, Rumble being chunked low, but he's still very close to getting the maximum damage out here is Dokla. So the Rumble dissuades the constant aggression this Gnar wants to go for. As the ultimate just used, it essentially puts him in a bit of a situation here as Palafox. That was looking very scary. It looked almost like he was just going to get jumped on by a Weiwei and then the hammer brought down by Palafox. But no, NRG respect the fact that there could be members of NRG coming down. So Weibo, play it safe, play it smart, and just secure mid push. Easy as can be as Herald onto the Rift. These two teams haven't really, I'd say, both fought for this. It certainly felt more so NRG have wanted to maintain control of this objective. Now, with Drake up in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, this is kind of the only place on the map contracts can really go to. The Herald should be fought over, but whether it does or not, as Yone ult is going to land, but Xiaohu, the quick trigger finger, allows him to flash away from the Sejuani ult. That is a big investment to avoid a possible death. So overall, worthwhile for Weibo. Now bot side, the Nature's Grasp is going to be thrown out. That's going to force FBI's cleanse. And Twisted advance forward. The Kaiser, the Ezreal, isolated away, nowhere near the safety of his towers. He just gets deleted by Light. And game 2 is starting to rear its ugly head again. Light ahead due to a Weiwei investment bot side. Wow. Who would have thought, as possibilities of the Maokai dying here is quite high. The response comes through. That's going to be Caitlyn putting traps down, but Yone has shown up and gets the kill. No big bounty or anything, but Maokai being dead is huge. 50 seconds until Drake. This allows you to get full vision control if you wanted to. of the area. Now, looking at the map, they're not doing that. And in fact, the Karma only just left lane. Same. This is weird. So this gank is worthwhile. You get the cleanse and you get the kill. As uh-oh, what a knockback there by Xiaohu as that kills off Palafox. You disengage effectively there as you see the Yone trying to dash away. You just bop him with a hammer. That was clean and clear cut by Weibo, who now have this this Herald in the back pockets of Weiwei, who drops it in mid lane. They're realizing that Xiaohu, he's a player that can carry this game. He's on a Jace, a big threat in terms of poke. So give him the gold to allow his team to get A, more movement speed, but B, get more damage as bot side. Light, forced to flash to safety. Nature's Grasp comes in way too late as the True Shot Barrage kills off the Caitlyn. That is a massive pick for NRG. With the Drake spawning, you kind of feel this will be secured by them. What? Ignar's just deleted his contracts. He's forced to run away. The Sejuani, while bulky, not able to stay and fight. And that's forced Palafox's TP to the bot side of the map. Well, I didn't expect a 2vx to happen here in this series. I thought it felt like it was over. It felt like Weibo have firm control of this. And when NRG, they find an okayish fight, you think, okay, they're going to secure the kills. They're going to win it. But nope. Weibo find a way to disjoin you, to make you look dysfunctional. And it works out for them. As, here we go. We are closing in on the 13-minute mark. 14 minutes is where the turret plates fall off. So, let's talk about it. I'm intrigued here by how this comp is set up for NRG per se. You look at their champions and the synergy. It's kind of minimalistic in terms of synergy, what they can do. I mean, you've got Sejuani with Yone as like a pairing that would work, but other than that, it's just a hope for the best sort of comp. There's no set play that you can go for. Whereas with Weibo, you've got the Nature's Grasp into Shock Blast, into Heimer E. You've got combos as here. It's just the fact you can throw out the Maokai ult when they're rooted in place, the Shock Blast comes through and deletes half the health bar. It's unfortunate. Actually, is it unfortunate? It's kind of sad it's not Infernal Soul. Obviously, Hex Soul does a similar sort of thing, but you get more damage from Infernal, which is unfortunate. And you could kind of expect it to see just a massive deletion by this Jace if that Empower Q came through, if he was buffed up by the relics as bot side. We are going to see this tower fall. Herald was used somewhere. Don't know where. Not going to lie. I've been zoning out this game. You could tell by how I'm constantly blinking and looking tired. Oh well, I need an early night tonight. Probably not going to get it. But yeah, NRG, they're getting to a situation where they need to force something. And Palafox, coming topside, could be investing into his top laner. But look at the CSD. It's resulted in the Shy getting a bounty for himself. As topside, the wallop gonna land. Not gonna be used, but here's Heimer. The E lands. But no continuous fight. As the rest of NRG show up, it's Ignar and Contracts, FBI still staying mid, TP being used and invested by the Shy. Weibo returned topside and really aren't going to lose anything. This is huge for them. They've slowed down NRG so much, they've forced mistakes out of the LCS rep. But right now, this is feeling like the closest it has felt or been during this series. And while, yeah, that lane economy signifies that there's a pretty big diffy in the midi, it certainly isn't enough to change the pace of the game, as they're gonna get the flash out from Weiwei there, NRG, but to be honest, it's not enough to get the kill. As Palafox, that's a solo bolo for the Shy. Is Ignar going to avoid the Nature's Grasp? Gets to run away to safety as bot side. How is this Rumble not killing the Jace? Xiaohu just goes on a killing spree. What is happening, NRG? They're crumbling. 2 kills to 7? You're behind 5k. When did that happen? Never mind, the engage comes through in the mid lane. That's going to be the tower falling, but the tower put up by Crisp. He's dissuading advancements forward from NRG, and that results in 2 towers falling on the Rift. This is just becoming worse and worse. It's becoming tragic, let's be honest. NRG, you were the West's only hope. I'm calling it here. I'm calling it now. Weibo are winning this game. They've looked pretty damn in control. And when an LPL/LCK team are in control, then the game is done. We're outie. Game over. NRG, pack your bags home. Weibo are destroying you right now. Now, obviously, Hex Soul is available for both teams. Weibo, the closest, is if they secure this one, they're on to Soul points, needing just one of them. Very voluptuous drakes. I was going to call it dresses. That'd been funny. But yeah, the drakes are needed to be secured here by NRG to dissuade us. That's just a dead Palafox. As the ticking Xiaohu is going to fall, but Caitlyn, he's firing in. The Rumble dies. And so will this Drake. What was that fight? Insanity, I feel. As Contract being forced away by the Shy. That is going to be Soul point secured for the LPL team, who are starting to walk towards Baron. I'm not saying they will, but maybe they do. Who knows? Ace in the hole chucked out in mid. It's just a bit of chip damage. As this again, how does the Yone die? Jumped on. Xiaohu does that much damage with his full burst combo. It's absolutely nutty. So, that fight played out as expected. You got to shut down. The Ezreal got a kill. Sing 2-1-0. Has got Infinity Force, and he's starting to stack up that mana. He really needs to hit that before, realistically, 20 minutes if he wants to be in a good place. But the shock blast into the root from the Nature's Grasp secures the kill. Weiwei, he's got himself his second of the game. And NRG, they're crumbling. They can't play side lanes. And they're certainly feeling that pressure. Herald is dropped down here. They're gonna provide some safety to this Rift Herald is going to be our man Xiaohu as it crashes into this tier 2 on the top side of the map. Baron on the table. Actually, Yone going to be jumping onto this. Jason gets the shutdown, but here comes the Shy. He's ready to mega out. The flash burnt from contracts, but no one's going to overcommit. No one's going to go for the fight. And instead, NRG, they're content with picking up the kill. But Weibo, I don't think they are. Look at how they're positioning. Sure, they're taking resets around the buff, but this is an aggressive place to back. And it's where typically games go to die. The Baron on the Rift 20 seconds ago, maybe more, from when that went live. And you kind of feel it. I certainly feel it. But we're seeing a fight sooner rather than later. One of these teams will be heading home. The other gets a luxurious apartment to stay in for the rest of Worlds. I think. I'm assuming they get to here in wherever Worlds is. Somewhere in Korea. It's not Seoul. That's where it was before that. But yeah. There's a train to something. Name and film. But yeah. As it stands, looking at items, looking at builds, as never mind the Shy. He's got Hullbreaker. He's isolated, forced to flash and hop away, but this contract is very, very able to keep on top of him, and in the end it's another kill over to NRG. The shutdown comes through. The equalizer not going to do too much work, and it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Maokai twisted advances, catches Dokler out, but in the end it's actually going to be the Rumble in trouble. It's another trade. On the backside though, here is Light. He's free firing in, and he is joined up with the rest of his team, flashing forward, not going to be able to tag FBI. It was so goddamn close to being a kill for LPL's number 4 seed. The ADC Light popping off here. What happened this fight? It was insane. The Shy caught out on sides. He realizes this is a mistake. As soon as the Yone ult comes through, he starts to turn it. Simple as that. He tries to fight, and that True Shot Barrage denies his fight. Simple as that. The equalizer, poorly placed, honestly. It's understandable why you would do it, but it's poorly placed because you don't get the continuous spins. You got about 1 or 2 ticks onto the members up on that top half of the rift. Anyway, the fight continued. Light somehow rejoined up with the team, and it was close to being game over. Simple as that. NRG would have probably lost in that situation there, as a massive shock blast gets invested as Chris forced to flash away, taken quite low. But NRG, they're feeling the constraints that Weibo are putting onto them. The constant pressure, forcing them to take the long route. The shock blast chunk away at the health bars. Weibo, they know this game is well and truly over. They feel it. As these shock blasts coming in from all angles, there's no escape from them. As Xiaohu has been absolutely on point with them this entire game. Yeah, you can't say serious because he hasn't played it in multiple games. But Drake's on the table. Soul, Hex Soul for Weibo if they secure it. Below a half HP, but contracts, he's looking for the fight. He catches out Chris, but Soul is secured by Weibo. And now the Soul shreds through the back line. That's the first kill. Make it a second for Weibo as Xiaohu picks that one up. Now it's just the Yone to fall. Jace picks that one up, and Weibo, they're turning to the Baron because they know this goddamn game is over. Honestly, this fight as a whole was clean from Weibo. Contracts miss targets, let's be honest. He focuses the support. And that puts him in a situation where A, he's going nowhere near the objective, and B, he's the perfect candidate to be shot down by Weibo. Light has only one singular target to hit, and that was the Sedge. So, pretty easy kill onto the enemy jungler there. Means that Soul is well and truly secured. And now, Weibo are on the victory march. They're sitting, they're standing very far up in lane. And what can NRG do to mitigate it? It's something they should realistically know how to do, is mitigate losing states. But here, look how they group up together. It's kind of awkward because you've got Hullbreaker Yone versus Hullbreaker Na. So they want to play in isolation. When they group up, it's an absolute nightmare. But Sedgel gonna go wide, so's Yone, and that's just Light getting the big kill. The Na into 2 secures multiple kills for Weibo. And this is looking like it's over. Jace shoots from downtown the Ezreal. The base now is gonna fall. The Nexus Tower's in the sight of Weibo. And game number 3, with the Braum emote being flashed constantly, is going to the LPL 4th seed. They did beat they've beaten NRG 4 times, and that's only one tournament. A massive, monumental win for the LPL team, who realistically speaking, they just dismantled NRG. It wasn't even close. And that is that for today. If you couldn't tell, I was falling asleep during this stream, so I'm gonna go bed. Thank you very much for joining me. I've got a video coming out possibly the end of today, maybe tomorrow, who knows. But it's Paradox Rift, it's Pokemon card opening. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new and if you want to, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow's best of 5, an hour earlier than normal. Don't want to miss it. Peace out.